just in, we got the patch notes for update 2.6. The server will be down for these times for about 8 hours. However, they did say it could very well end significantly earlier. This ultimately brings the new weapon die system, the new solo dungeons, and a lot of bug fixes. However, very concerningly is the fact they failed to mention anything about the Crimson weapons, Bercant weapons, and the Greyeye weapons. Absolutely nothing here. And this is with the fact Tico did say
all remaining gear will be available by April 17th.
So they may very well just have failed to actually add it to the patch notes. A post edit, I was right. They indeed forgot to add them to the patch notes. It is confirmed they will be added to 3-star dungeons and they will be available as craftable from the All Things merchant. They've just gone and update the patch notes as well, and it now mentions it right here. So ideally have saved up your 3-star dungeon currency. As you can see, the drop rates are now available with the wand coming from Rancor Wood as a 3% chance, Halls of Tragedy having the Bercant crossbow and longbow at a 1.5% chance on both, with Chapel of Madness having the Greyeye greatsword and the Greyeye staff with also a 1.5% chance on both. With Doomrot Grove it has the Bercant daggers with a 3% chance to drop there, and then the Twisted Laboratory with the Crimson Doomblade and the Crimson Spear with a 1.5% drop chance on both. If you've saved up your loyalty coins, you should be able to craft all of those weapons with 400 loyalty coins. But jumping back to the overall patch notes, they've put an end to the meme with the Breeze line manager. She won't repeat those lines so often, and don't worry, if you're in the Resistance, it's still free. With the Hall of Illusion, those solo dungeons, that comes with the addition of the new solo dungeon and a change to the ranks, which some of you did point out. Yes, we'll no longer have like the tier 4, the in-between. This kind of puts everybody who was doing tier 4 back a step to tier 3, which kind of sucks. But if you do manage to push to tier 5, basically expert level here, there are new nebula accessories available, and it's confirmed right here that that's indeed the case. And the other earrings and bracelets will return in potential drop tables when the prior set of bosses return. It's been confirmed with our Mirror Boutique, we will indeed be getting the weapon die system, but only currently 4 weapons are available to actually change the colors of. You have the Fortunate weapons, which did get released on Global, same with the Sanguine weapons, and the recently released Abyssal weapons. But I believe we did not yet get the Stormcaller weapons, and they are indeed added to the patch notes list. Either that's done by mistake or alludes to them actually releasing those weapons with our update tomorrow, as they just did for Korea. You can see them all here, and it did drop with the matching skin too, which does look super cool for the female character here, and then also for the male character there. The headpiece is actually a little bit different, which I failed to showcase in my previous video. And then a load of general updates. So in terms of that weapon dying, yes, it's a bit disappointing. You may not even be able to dye your weapon that you've obtained because it's just not been worked upon to have that capability. But they did say they will be adding more to this system over time. However, the most disappointing thing with this system is the fact you cannot actually change the glowy effects of weapons. For example, these, they're always going to be red no matter what I do. Like, I'm using all black paint here. Similarly with these, it's always going to have the golden lightning. No way to change the color of that. But moving on, they did thankfully address quite a few bugs and exploits, including dimensional trials with the Chapel of Madness and Halls of Tragedy, fixing the collision adjustments within the arenas to prevent players from attacking without retaliation. Despite them not mentioning, I hope they still have gone and fixed Doomrot Grove, which had some capability to also exploit it, and I hope they've properly fixed Rancor Wood too. Only time will tell though if they've actually fixed these, and people may very well just be able to find more exploits. but I haven't seen anybody finding one for Twisted Laboratory. There is always the option for the devs to completely reset the dimensional trials. I have seen on the Japanese server that it has been said that the season's ending on April the 17th. That's another thing they may have just failed to add to the patch notes, or we might very well not get a trial reset. Honestly, it would make sense. Make a season 3 and just have new leaderboards. This is the most important thing, honestly, aside from all those runes. They could just literally have the exact same rune packs and morph, and anybody who's obtained the season 2 ones basically can't earn them again. But at least the leaderboards would be reset and you'd have the incentive to actually play the trials properly to rank up. Keep in mind this update does also change the schedule in Nebula Island and your activity points from boss fights. So Dominion and Guild versus Guild will now give higher activity points versus just peace. The exploit with Aragon has been addressed, so you can no longer kill him without him, say, dealing any damage back to you when you were on, say, higher terrain. So you shouldn't get people soloing him in guilds. A bug fix to the once blessed barrier. It should now properly have its duration increased when you have the specialization, no matter who you're targeting. And a bunch of weapon masteries had their tooltips update. For example, the Swords Mastery, this one, Life's Bargain, will now clearly state it's only melee and endurance. In terms of your battle pass, they've addressed the cost of your abundance, fruit, and your mastery reports. Keep in mind this here is on Korea, you can buy like in bulk. And they also have them at just 25 for one. We might get this adjustment, but the way it's worded here, we'll probably go back to obtaining 2 of them for our current price. I feel a bit scammed having to buy them for essentially the double the price without said compensation for that. They could at least give out a few for free, you know? They've gone and fixed the Torture Chamber of Screams. You may have struggled with the Exploration Codex in there, where you need to defeat him while 3 blood reservoirs are full. This has been forever bugged that you just weren't able to get it. So we should be able to now. They've significantly increased the training dummy health. They now have a whopping 5 million at max, so we can do much longer DPS tests before they reset. Good to see. And they fixed the Guardian, so you can no longer have the base damage boost permanently active. That's a great exploit fix, as people were able to use it to, yes, again, have that 6% extra base damage, which is like 6% overall damage permanently. Your armored diatrama dash morph should properly be shared across all characters, and material transmutation has been fixed so that it will no longer select to use all of your materials, like all those ores, when you simply selected like rare here. You now have to go and deliberately select materials in order for it to add them. By default, it will be on the all equipment category, and they've done away with the other categories. So yes, you can now just select all gear or all materials. A few equipment items adjustments. There was a bunch of rare tier 2 gear displaying the wrong amount of stats than they actually granted. You can now properly craft the Crown of Icebound Infinity. That's this one just here, which is very good from Della's Noah, giving a ton of wisdom and perception along with crit hit chance and cooldown speed. And the Black Anvil weapons, the Solent bonus should properly be applied, and items should no longer become untradeable if you, say, use them in the sync system temporarily. And then a bunch of UI updates here, again with the material transmutation combining those tabs, fixing it so that the resurrection button won't disappear, adding new nameplate colors for the Vanguard, that's basically like the raids. Done a fix to the health bars in Vanguards, fixing a phishing issue on controller, and those runes. It should no longer display Korean text when, say, inspecting another player's weapons. That is pretty much it, again, for this update. It's pretty good overall in terms of fixing bugs and exploits. And again, the patch notes did get updated to confirm we are getting the Bercant Crimson Greyeye weapons added to dungeons and the All Things Merchant. However, we also don't have confirmation yet on when we're getting the new trait Resonance. basically allowing you to have an additional trait on your gear. You need to get these trait resonance stones. You can randomly roll to get all of these, spending 4, or you spend a whopping 80 of them to select what you want. And these resonance stones you're going to obtain through the crafting. You go to any of your merchants, you create them here. You need 5 resonance stone fragments and 2 of the following ores. But the main place to get these stone fragments will be through material transmutation. Here on the Korean server, it's a little bit different, so we can't confirm exactly how it will be for us, but you can see on tier 5, the bonus reward is 15 stone fragments. They only need 10,000 points to get to tier 5 material transmutation. We need, I believe, 50,000 points. So we may very well get 5 times the amount of stone fragments. Or, as they did say, they would reduce the cost of actually trait resonance, so it shouldn't be this costly. It might be only 1 trait resonance stone to reroll, and it might be just 20 of these to unlock it. But we need more confirmation on that, and the patch notes do not say if we're actually getting that. And from what Tico said,
we expect trait resonance to arrive in late April with 2 significant changes. First, players can immediately select their preferred trait instead of doing a random roll. Second, we're substantially reducing the cost of unlocking your trait resonance.
And that was it. We already got the preferred trait selection with a recent Korean update, as you can see here, but they did not get the cost reductions yet. And again, not until late April, so probably next week, or it could be even this week if they plan on surprising us, because again, they don't seem to add everything to our patch notes. But that's it for now. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you guys around.